Okay, let's begin, everyone. So we're going to have a short period of sitting quietly together. And then this morning, we're going to work on the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And possibly for those of you who have previous experience and confidence and a wall, not a window, you can practice going upside down. I said three things there. You have previous experience, you have confidence, and you have a wall, not a window. So please rest your hands in your lap. And you can close your eyes. And let your attention come into the joy of the present moment. We get to see each other again this morning. And we have a chance to dedicate our practice, not only for our own health and well-being, but that we can be ambassadors of yoga in our thoughts, in our speech, in our communications, and how we care for this personal ecology and how we care for the larger ecology. So when you come into the sense of the dedication and the opportunity and also the joy of being here, then let your breathing deepen up and down the central channel of the spine. And try to get the news of the day, right? If you were breathing up the spine, like sensing vertebrae by vertebrae, where does the breath feel like it has access? Where are there places where you feel like it gets a little bit scattered or the reception is not very strong? As I said the other day, you want to notice the breath vertically, but also three-dimensionally. So what is happening with the breath in the back of the body, in the sides of the body, not only in the front body. And when you exhale, notice the quality of smoothness in the transition from your inhale, pause, and then into the exhale. And the quality of smoothness at that transition is something that you have internal leadership over, from the base of the pelvis, pelvic floor, and the lowest region of the transverse abdominis, the muscles just above the pubic bone. And when you get a sense of this information system, know that after we chant, we'll do some pranayama and we'll check in again and see how the information system has been changed, updated. So as an ambassador of yoga, you can join your hands together at your heart, remembering, as we discussed on Tuesday, we're here to practice. We have this body very briefly in terms of the lifespan of the planet, and it's our job to sense what actions can come through us, but not to overestimate that we are the doer of so many of these actions. We are here in humility and partnership and dedication. You may chant with me. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, savidyam karavavai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavai. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, savidyam karavavai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavai. Sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, savidyam karavavai, tejasvina varitamastu. Ma vidvishavai. Om Shanti Om. You may bow your head to your heart if you like. And then release your hands. Just open your eyes. And we're going to do a little bit of pranayama here. So I'm going to ask you to do breath of fire through the nose, maybe about 30 exhales. And then we'll have complete exhale and a full inhale left nostril only. We'll hold the breath at the top, and then we're going to exhale and release that from the bottom up. And we'll do that again. Inhale to hold at the top, and then we'll do it once more, release from the bottom up. So you can place one hand on the diaphragm if that helps you to know that you're actually exhaling from the diaphragm, not from your face, not from your nose, like that. Okay, so let's take a half inhale. Exhale. Now close the right nostril. Inhale left side only. Hold the breath at the top. Exhale slowly from the bottom up. Inhale deeply and hold, close the left nostril, inhale right nostril. We hold that at the top. Exhale from the bottom to the top. Again, a half inhale. Exhale completely. Inhale left nostril only. Hold this at the top. Lift the chest, snug the low belly in and up to hold the breath. Exhale through the nose from the bottom up. Close the left nostril. Inhale right side. And hold the breath at the top. Lift the chest to brighten the heart. You send the solar energy upwards towards the heart. And then exhale through the nose from the bottom up. Now we do this one more time. So half inhale. Exhale completely. Now close the right nostril. Inhale left side. And hold the breath at the top. Lift the chest and brighten the heart with all the qualities you sense you need as an ambassador of yoga. Now with the tiny straw exhale, exhale from the bottom up. Close the left nostril, inhale right side. Hold the breath at the top. Brighten the chest and the heart with all the qualities you sense you need as an ambassador of yoga. And then the tiny straw exhale from the bottom up. And then let your body and your mind relax very deeply while keeping the internal structure of sitting upright. And just notice what effect you've been able to have on the mind. Also on your heart, your emotional heart. And with appreciation, just for that small practice right there, you can put the hands together once again. May the heart qualities of you as an ambassador of yoga, may they come forward today. May they be an offering to others. Not with any sense of being a yoga missionary or any kind of piousness at all, but may we allow this to then be the fragrance that comes forward from our hearts. Now we're going to rise up to standing, please, and I'm going to start the other video. And I'll spotlight that one. So please rise up to standing. You will need a couple of blocks for class today. And you can start at the front of your yoga mat. And sweep the arms wide. And then wrap your right elbow over your left elbow using the eagle pose arms like this. Yeah. Great. And as you wrap the elbow, start breathing into whatever the sensations happen to be for you with that. And I know that for some of you, those are going to be strong sensations. With your right elbow on top, I'm going to ask you to take both arms over to the left side of your torso and look over your right shoulder. Take a deep breath into the upper back on the right side. And then let that come back to center. Release the arms down and wide. Inhale. Good. And then cross your left elbow over your right. Weave the arms. Wonderful. Okay. And the elbows can stay at about the same height as your shoulders, and take both elbows across to the right side of the torso. Look over your left shoulder. And take a deep breath into the upper back on your left side. And then exhale, bring us around to center. Inhale, let's take the arms wide and up overhead. Exhale, sit down to chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, eagle pose arms, right elbow on top. Inhale, elbows left, look right. Exhale to center. Inhale, raise your arms. Chair pose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, eagle pose, arms, left elbow on top. You're doing really well, thank you. Inhale, elbows right, nose left. Exhale to center, stretch the elbows forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, chair pose. We're going to stay in chair pose for a few breath cycles. So try to bring the breath from the base of your belly to the back of your waist and then up into your heart. When you exhale, come down like you're cross-country skiing and you have to make a big push with both poles. And then inhale, reach your heart and your arms forward as if you were raising the poles, your ski poles up towards the sky. And then exhale, take it back again. Inhale, reach forward. Once more, exhale, take it back. Inhale to rise. Raise your ski poles high like you're celebrating God. And then exhale, sweep the arms out to the side and return to Anjali Mudra. Good morning. I'm thinking of my Alaskans when I say you're going cross-country skiing. I shouldn't call you my Alaskans, but I do feel that way about you. It's nice to have you here. Now we're going to put eagle pose into chair pose. Okay, so inhale, sweep the arms up. Now bend your knees, right elbow over the left. Good. And then come down deeply so the elbows go between the knees if possible. And breathe into the back hemisphere of your body. So the profile view of this with me looks like so. And you're deeply and it's very snug. Breathe in, put the body weight into your heels and your toes. Let's exhale completely. And now inhale, sweep your wings wide, rise up, upward hands pose. Okay, second side, exhale, take the arms wide, bend your knees, left elbow over the right. And come deeply down again, so it's very snug. You are causing a compression in the wrist joints, elbow joints, shoulder joints, hip joints. So when we rise up from here, it's a kind of liberation for the circulation of the body. So when you next exhale, tone the deep low belly. And then inhale, sweep your wingtips wide, rise up like an eagle taking flight. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart, Anjali Mudra. Notice all that's moving in you, that which could become the freedom of the eagle in flight, and that which needs the sense of grounding that we get from chair pose. Now we'll take it to Surya Namaskar. So inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Good. Exhale, chair pose, and take your ski poles back. Inhale, chair pose. Now exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Reach for the crown of your skull. Exhale, step your left foot straight back. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Beautiful, thank you. Let's stay upright for a few breath cycles here. And first make the breath just really smooth. So you can sense the vigorous breath or the dynamic movements now become this kind of internal intimacy and smoothness. Once more, breathing in. And then exhale, make a wide circle of the arms, come over your right leg snugly. Look back as if you're taking your ski poles towards the back of the room. And then lightly touch the floor. Inhale, bring your left foot forward. And then exhale, take your right foot back. Root down through your left heel. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Beautiful. And as you breathe in, now we've had dynamic, let it get really subtle. And subtle can be strong inside the central channel, but you shouldn't feel like you're working vigorously to sort of suck the breath in, but rather that you're partnering with the inner intelligence of your body. Let's do it one more time. Inhale smoothly. And then exhale, make a wide circle of the arms. As you come forward, sweep your arms back. And then touch the floor and step backwards to downward facing dog pose. And so we're going to vary this morning. We're going to alternate, I should say, the word is alternate, between vigorous and then sublime. So vigorous like Kappalabhati, vigorous like eagle pose, chair pose, and then sublime like the central channel. So here we're going to go to a little bit vigorous again. When you inhale, feel into the back of the body, and then exhale forward, plank pose. Arrive with your gaze between your thumbs. Inhale backwards, downward facing dog pose. Exhale forward, plank pose. Inhale backwards, downward facing dog. Exhale forward, plank pose. Inhale, downward dog. Plank pose. Downward dog. And now forward Chaturanga Dandasana. Come onto your stomach, please point your toes. Inhale, roll up Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll down, Pranam. Again, inhale, roll up Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll down, Pranam. 3 times more. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, glide down. Again, inhale, roll up. Exhale to glide down. And then the last one, inhale to roll up. And exhale, glide down. And on the glide down, now make a pillow of your hands to rest your forehead. And when you come to rest, watch all the actions that are occurring. They're occurring right there for you. Right? Your body's going to recalibrate your breathing, your heart rate. The muscles now learn to let go of the tension patterns. Most of those come from your mind habits. Try to sense that which is breathing you, that which is right now caring for and loving you. Beautiful, very nice. Now place your hands beneath your shoulders, please. And as you inhale, press up to plank pose. And then reach high to downward facing dog pose. Now with your more awkward foot, please step yourself forward to Uttanasana. So the awkward foot is first. The next foot is second. Inhale, glide your heart forward. And then exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. And make this now the sublime. You're moving thoughtfully, with intimacy, with respect for your body. And let's inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Okay, exhale, sweep the arms wide and put your right elbow over your left in eagle pose. Now, please bend both knees. Okay, and putting your weight into your right leg, step your left foot backwards to the crescent lunge. And bring your torso upright with your eagle pose arms. Good. Yeah, really nice. Now let it be sublime. Right, so if you lift the pubic bone, tone the deep low belly, broaden your back waist, and shine the elbows a little bit forward, you'll also broaden the back of the heart. And let's see if you can really sense the breath on the back hemisphere of your body. Now concentrate on keeping your right heel, right knee, right thigh very stable. And as you turn to your left for Warrior Two, sweep your wingtips wide. Virabhadrasana 2. Nice job with the transition, thank you. And then breathing in. Let this be for the sublime, right? You have the strength for this. You know how to set up your legs. You have yourself in a stable formation. You can even close your eyes and just sense the wind under the wings of the eagle. The eagle is dependent on that for its soaring pattern in the sky. In the same way, we are dependent on the breath that is breathing us and sources of inspiration in life. And when you next exhale, place your right forearm on your right thigh and sweep your left arm past your left ear to the pose called side angle pose, Parishvakonasana. Press firmly into your right heel. Keep your right knee pointing straight on. Reach way back into your left heel. And reach long into your left fingertips and thumb. And then exhale and rotate down so that your left fingertips find the floor, then your right fingertips. And as you inhale, step your left foot forward. Half Uttanasana means bring the heart forward. And then exhale, bend your knees. That's the bottom half of chair pose. Inhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Now sweep the arms wide and wrap your left elbow over your right. There you go. Bend both knees. And my hair in my face. There we go. I called my hair person yesterday and I said, can I cut my own hair? And he called me right back and said, no. So bend your knees in this chair pose. Put your weight into your left leg. Pick up the right knee and glide back. Good. Yeah, very nice. Now look for the sublime. You play in there with lift the pubic bone, broaden the back waist, right above your sacrum. Yeah. And then the back of the diaphragm also broadens. You're doing really well. I can see you. And then press the elbows forward so the back of the heart also opens. Yeah, that's great. Okay, hold steady with your left knee, your left heel, and your mind. And then start rotating to Warrior Two. Sweep your arms wide. Yes, you guys are awesome. Thank you. You may close your eyes if that helps you to bring your awareness to the inner sublime. You could imagine yourself like an eagle. You know, the wind underneath the wings. The vision that the eagle has. The freedom that that must feel like up in the sky. And then as you exhale, place your left forearm on your left thigh. Sweep your right arm past your right ear and look for the sublime again. So if you keep the left heel and left knee strong, you have the stability and stamina to make the right heel more grounded. Lengthen the right side of your waist. Reach into your right fingertips and thumb. One more breath in, please. And then as you exhale, roll down, touch the floor with your right fingertips and then your left, and step backwards to downward dog pose, please. And in downward dog pose, gaze back between your heels, looking for that which is sublime in the inner experience of the body. Very nice. Great, and now please touch your knees down and go backwards to child's pose. And in child's pose, you can also reflect, as we did in Makrasana, like how many actions right now are coming together to care for you. Your breath rate, your heart rate, your body temperature. The lymph system is like, oh, good. Now we have a job to do. We are cleansing. We are not being sedentary. Great. Please walk your hands back towards your knees, and you can rise up to kneeling and watch here. We're going to take a block for dolphin pose. So when you put the elbows down on the floor, let me back up. So I hope that you can see it. When you put the elbows down, it'll be like a box shaped like this. So the forearms are going to be parallel. We looked at this pose in yesterday's class as well. So this is the position of the elbows, and then you lift the hips up to come into dolphin pose. And your head will not be touching the floor or the block. Right, so I'll do mine as a profile also. What you can do is place your hands on the sides of the block so that the palms are actually sideways in the pose. They're like this. And then raise your hips up like you're doing downward facing dog pose, but you're doing it on your elbows. And try to find the upper back and the heart. So you can press equally down into your elbows and up into your sitting bones. Do your best to make the breath smooth and steady here. And then walk yourself forward so your shoulders are over your elbows. Touch your knees down. And without making the knees and elbows closer, take your hips back. Please keep the elbows grounded to the floor so they don't slide apart. And sense the opening you're trying to create in the back of the body, the back of your heart, the outsides of your rib cage, outer shoulder blades. Keep the elbows grounded. And then you can walk your shoulders forward so they're over your elbows. Walk your knees in and rise up to kneeling. Now, I would love for you to have two blocks. I know that you don't all have two blocks, but if you had two, you could place one for the upper back and one for the hands. If you don't all have two blocks, you can do it like this. You take the two folded blankets. This is for the upper back. And one block will be for the hands. So when you lie down, you take the upper back onto either the block or the blanket stack. And we're gonna roll backwards so that you bend the elbows, and you're aiming to bring the elbows into the side mirrors. You can see them with your eyes. This is the beginning of a back bend, and you're welcome to join me right here. Great. So now if you keep the elbows within your side mirrors and you begin to slowly straighten the arms, you want to sense where the straightening is coming from in the shoulder joints, not by exploiting your neck or your lower back. Reach the arms long and then reach the legs long. the central fulcrum in something like dolphin, downward dog pose, handstand, forearm stand, that is the inversions where your head is not touching the floor, the central fulcrum is in the heart. If you can allow the breath right now to go from the first third to the middle third to the upper third of the torso, remind yourself, what are the qualities of heart that you need as a yoga ambassador today? And then take that block and place it underneath your head, the one that was between your hands. And if you've got two blocks, then you have one block under your upper back and one block under your head. And if you've got one block, you've got it under your head and two blankets under your upper back. And watch your body go from some dynamic effort there back to this sublime. The beauty about those qualities of heart is that when they come through us, there isn't really a feeling that we are the generator or the initiator of those heart qualities, but rather like we're lining up with this huge river of goodness and it's coming through us. And there is a biochemical process to that. We become larger than our individual self. In contrast, when we feel more like stingy or greedy, or we have animosity or impatience, we actually contract. We become more dense in our isolation as a self. So now I'm going to give you an opportunity here to do a little bit of work with balance and core strength before you have the playful invitation to invert. Okay, so if you have these two blankets, this is ideal. If you don't have two blankets, you could use a long foam roller for this. So this is a little bit from yesterday's practice as well. You're going to be on your back on these blankets. And how we do it, you sit on the blanket so you have your head on the blanket, you have your spine and your hips. Yesterday we were holding a block here too. We're not going to use the block right now. I'm going to ask you to bring both knees up to your chest and then see if you can balance right here. Hug the knees in towards the heart without using your hands and arms. So it comes from the deep low belly. Lengthen the back of your neck so you're not pushing your chin up towards the ceiling. And now, like a little cross crawl, let's take the left arm overhead and the right arm down towards the floor. And then as you switch that, you're going to lower your left toes and left arm. Return both knees to center. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, now we're going to lower the right toes and the right arm. Return both knees to center, both arms overhead. Okay, left knee, left arm. Return to center. Okay, right knee, right arm. Return to center, both arms overhead. Okay, now left arm, right toes. Scissor to switch. So I'll take this spot here in the center line of my door frame. So you place the elbows down in dolphin pose. My hands are interlaced with each other. And then you take one step in, tiny step, and with a straight leg, you give a little hop to go up. You get to be upside down and the head is not touching the floor. And for those who need to hold the wall with a toe, you can do that. You also can take the toes off the wall and balance while breathing. So the head's not touching the floor, nor is it touching the wrists or the knuckles. Thank you for playing. I can see you upside down. Then we'll step down lightly. And then you can come to kneeling with appreciation for other people's efforts if you're watching, with no sense of pride or disappointment if you were practicing. Just feel what happens after an inversion. There's this cleansing process that the body wants to go through. You did a great job with that. Thank you. Now we're going to practice some twisting to further help the limb system know what to do with the goodies that are getting stirred up. So please take a seat on your blankets. You can put the blankets on your mat horizontally like this. And take a seat first cross-legged, like this. So cross your ankles. That means that your knees won't be touching the floor right now, but you're going to cross the ankles. My hope is that you're sitting up high enough that when you sit, it feels like the knees are comfortably resting, not like you're having the pelvis pushed backwards. Right? And then take the back of your left hand around the outside of your right thigh. To do that, if you have long arms, it'll feel like an easy, kind of simple thing to do. If you don't have long arms, like me, sometimes you have to have a strategy. You take the hand and you place it so the wrist is there. Make a block for your right hand. So when you twist now to your right, you try to keep the back of the left wrist and hand hooked around the outside of the thigh. There you go. Good. And twisting to your right, you can look over your right shoulder. And let's come back into the sense of what qualities of heart would be most vital for you today as an ambassador of yoga. And can you breathe from the base of the pose upwards three-dimensionally and touch the top of the heart, including the backside of the heart? This is the inner concentration of the sublime. And when you next exhale, rotate around to face forward. Pause and let your body recalibrate that. And then take the back of the right hand around the outside of the left thigh and do your best to hook that there. You might do as I'm doing, where you use your hand to help guide. And then as you twist to your left, look for the block that's behind you, if you're using one. And close the eyes and really focus on the internal sublime. The breath is like a conveyor of these qualities of heart. We want to cultivate that from the base of the breath to the mid-breath to the upper heart and upper back part of the breath. The qualities of heart that we're referring to, they are already installed in human nature, but they become obscured or forgotten when human nature is confused, not at its best, frightened. When you next exhale, rotate around to face forward. Rest your hands over your knees and notice the release that can go down the shoulders to your hands and fingers. I'm going to ask you to do a snug twist. So if you'll bring the right knee up like this, and you tuck the left foot in. So for those of you who are on the call, and I do know several of you have hip replacements like I do, this is the variation for Ardha Matsyendrasana when you have a hip replacement. Because stepping over like this is actually contraindicated and not that comfortable or stable. So for yourself, you can choose. If this is your stable base for this twist, please mimic what I'm showing here. If you are comfortable stepping over and having both hips still established and the knee upright, then go ahead and choose this. My choice is here. Okay, and then raise your left arm high, like the eagle's wingtip to the sky, and rotate to your right and hook your left elbow or your left armpit over your right knee. Walk the right hand around behind you. My hand's on my block again. Press down into your right hand to support the right side of the torso to stay relatively upright in the twist. And you can allow for the snugness of the belly and the right side waist against your right thigh. In fact, if it's helpful, you can bow your head like this and consider the breath really going into the back hemisphere of the body. You might find that during the inhale, your twist kind of untwists a little bit, and that during the exhale, the twist might twist a tiny bit more, particularly in the heart. And then you can rotate around to face forward. And let's change sides. And I'll encourage you to make a choice that's either equal on both sides. So mine is going to be the same, though I do not have a hip replacement on my left side. So relatively equal if you can. And then raise your right arm high. And exhale, cross over. And as you bring your arm across, try hooking where you have access. So that for some of you, that's going to be up high in your armpit. For others of us, it's not that high up. Maybe it's the outside of the elbow like what I'm doing here. And then as you're twisting, you may choose to bow your head gently down. And focus the breath into the back hemisphere of your body. Listen for the places where the breath travels easily. The places where it may not be so. And one more exhale to squeeze the low belly. And then rotate around to face forward and come to Siddhasana. It means a seat you can use for a few moments of meditation. And we'll do this, a little hip opening, and then we're going to go to Shavasana. So rest your hands over your knees like you've got the shape of a pyramid for stability. Put your awareness in the back hemisphere of your body. And observe this kind of quieting inside. The limb system will take the debris and discard it. You've awakened the vital centers of the body inside. And you allow the restless nature of the mind to come to rest. Right now we have the legs in Siddhasana. That means you have the heels lined up and the knees are wide. Please walk your hands forward and roll up onto the knees and the shins. And see if you can stretch the inner groin. Okay, and then roll that back down to Siddhasana. Switch the feet. Okay, so there's Siddhasana again. It's pubic bone, one heel, second heel. Walk the hands forward and roll up onto the knees and shins. And then roll that back. Siddhasana. Switch. Okay, there's your pyramid base. You've got the shins and knees and the heels. Come forward. Keep the knees grounded and do your best to take the tailbone down like a timid puppy. And then roll your hips back. We'll do it one more time. Siddhasana, switch. Here's your Siddhasana. Keep the knees and shins grounded and roll forward. And then roll that back. Okay, those might be strange sensations in the hips. Let's take that to Shavasana this morning. And here's my recommendation. If you do have these two blankets, it's very nice to use them. You can place the blankets pretty close to your sitting bones and your hips. When you lie back, you snug the blankets up against the back of the sitting bones and come into Baddha Konasana. If the blankets are not tall enough for you there, for your knees to get support, you can place the blocks also. So your Baddha Konasana is completely supported. And then rest your hands on the low belly. Let the eyes close. With the support of the blankets and the blocks for the upper thighs and the knees for this Baddha Konasana, it is my hope that you feel like your lumbar spine could kind of descend down towards the floor, that this becomes a basin, as it were, for the water element, the second chakra. When you gaze downward, let's imagine this water element here at the second chakra. Like I've been saying, it's like a clear body of water. It becomes so reflective and so tranquil. As you gaze at the surface of this water, you see the immense sky above it. Maybe one eagle passing overhead, but not rippling the water, only reflected therein. It was Rilke who said, "What is the sky? What is the infinite? What is the infinite, if not the sky, hurled through with birds, and deep with the winds of homecoming? What is the infinite, if not the sky, hurled through with birds, and deep with the winds of homecoming?" You can just sense the water is very clear, very reflective. Do not let your mind create ripples on the surface of this water. Continue imagining how tranquil, how deeply restored this water element becomes. Allow the water to become deeply reflective. Give yourself the gift of seeing the sky in the water's surface, the infinite, hurled through with birds, and deep with the winds of homecoming. Let's imagine the deep quiet of this body of water. Welcoming you to see the reflection. Welcome your mind to be very still. Now as we are going to transition very slightly, we'll stay in this physical position. And I'm going to ask you to imagine now that you can put the inhale from the tailbone up the front line of your spine and that you'll feel that even in the upper back spine, that your spine is touching the floor a little bit more at each of the vertebrae, not because you're being forceful, but because the breath is moving in the pathway of the spine as a riverbed. And when you exhale, imagine the breath beginning also at the tailbone, and gently toning the tailbone, the sacrum, lumbar vertebrae 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is near the solar plexus. And then you're going to inhale again from the base of the spine. And bring the breath up across the back of the body, each of the spines up towards the heart. And then exhale from the base of the pelvis. Please do that one more time for the inhale. And with this exhale, also gently fold the knees up to center. So start the exhale, pelvic floor, tailbone, sacrum, the knees rising, lumbar 5, lumbar 4, lumbar 3, the knees keep rising, lumbar 2, lumbar 1, you're back at the top of the knees. And then release, and please roll to your side to come up to sitting for a short period of meditation. You can take these same 2 blankets to sit on if you like. My preference for sitting is that I first support on these 2 blankets, but then I roll down. So I'm really sitting, the blanket is like only under where the sacrum becomes my tailbone. Just information, I'm not saying you have to do it that way. And then place your hands out over your knees. Make your tripod position. I sometimes also call this the pyramid pose. Yeah, very good. We'll just do 1 round of Nadi Shodhana using the inhale through 1 nostril and then the straw exhale, the tiny cocktail straw exhale. So please bring your right hand up, close the right nostril, inhale left side only. Holding for a few moments, lower your right hand down. And tiny straw exhale. Bring the right hand up. Inhale right side only. Hold the breath. And a tiny cocktail straw exhale. then let yourself rest very deeply in this sublime. And you may bring your hands together at your heart. And we can sing together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As ambassadors of yoga, may we remember these qualities are installed in the hearts of humans everywhere. It is our good fortune when we sense we're able to line up with these qualities. And the felt sense of that is not of it being about us, but of about it coming through us. Thank you, everyone. So we say namaste at the heart, at the sixth chakra. May we see each other in our mind's eye for a long time to come. To the heart, and then to the offering. Thank you very much. Good to be with you. I'll come up where we can have some visiting closer to the computer.